10 minutes into class and I want to punch myself in the face. This man is a moron. Don't bother asking her for help, she'll tell you to Google it. If I had a nickel for every time she left a comment that literally just said no on my papers, I probably still couldn't afford anything, but at least I'd have a pile of nickels. She's basically someone that sucks at her job. I would not recommend him. He looks like Dustin Hoffman. His constant bitching at certain students has become tiresome and boring. He compares us to students at other schools and says we're not as good. That offends me. Great example of interpretive learning through dance. He's been putting in his wasteful existence for more years than should be ethical. Plays strange music. Just don't do it. Mean, insults you personally, thinks you are worthless, harasses, talks about his ex-wife, and is annoying. PowerPoints are cryptic and take time to decipher. Has students acting out skits in class. This is medical school. I do pity him. The life of a sociopath is a lonely one. Threatened us, made us not want to do homework, never shows up on Mondays, and is always late from Burger King. Often confusing the words fecal and fetal. In class today, she told students she would maybe grade our papers after her nap. Bad teacher!
Beway!
Always in a hurry, but is the slowest person alive. He wears the same blue vest every day! I can't believe this guy still has a job. He was the worst studio instructor in '96 when I had him, and no doubt he is still the worst. In 2010, nitpicky witch. She's a crack job. Unless you play an instrument, she won't like you. Completely useless waste of space. She used excuses like, I got home late, or it was thundering outside. He uses outdated language and innuendos to help us remember the content. Very knowledgeable and nice. Uses sarcasm in teaching. Postulated that the Renaissance didn't happen. She seems lost in her own classroom. Tells students he hates teaching and probably shouldn't be teaching. Pathetic. Consistently made mistakes with simple things like addition and subtraction errors that the students would have to correct. She is Satan. Keeping him could lead to serious legal trouble for the school. Trying to figure out what she wants you to do is like trying to prove a conspiracy theory is true. It was a forum for her to undergo therapy, I swear. Didn't even know what YouTube was. Treats us like insects, and he is RAID! He must be stoped before he fails us. Professor may have industry talent, but we'd never know it in this class. He literally spent 10 minutes showing us how to read a ruler. Asks for class feedback, but then says she doesn't care and won't change. This class was a very important experience. Made me decide to quit. English teacher who constantly misspells words. Made a fellow student uncomfortable by saying,
I provide you with a beautiful woman, and this is the work you do.
Wouldn't even make Saddam take her class. He is a nice guy and trying to be interesting. Took her class a few years ago, and it is sad to see that she is still a piece of poo-poo. He bailed on teaching to go to Iceland for 3 weeks. Do not take her classes. We got her fired from teaching at her high school. Overuses the word moment. Told people to sneak into the building after hours and skip meals to work on her stuff.
Cannot take this course at your request. Worst professor at the moment politics failure. After this chaos, we enabled him right. None of the Philistines understand him. He did not reply. Go on away. Difficulty here. All of the tomatoes for intense comments with everything. She's a nice lady, but that's about it. And there's words of spaces.
He ruined us. Some links on his slides lead to viruses. He is a computer science teacher. She's been terminated from other schools and sued only to lose her case on summary judgment. Tries to intimidate students because she is insignificant. I had to get an attorney to receive the grade I deserved. Told me to give up. Most people are probably too smart to enjoy her classes. He called 2 students fat. Borderline senile. Short and short-tempered. Thinks he is God. No one picks this time for the review. He picked it based on his pathetic life. The only stuff she knows about psychology is what she deals with herself. She is a crazy bitch. A complete fool. She talks a lot about her life, and who really cares when you have a test and you don't know what's on it? How can you teach art in dress clothes? He's untouchable. No explaining, just telling students that they suck. She is a miserably amateur petty despot who considers assignments to be a power struggle. What a useless bag on wind. This teacher is out of this world. He is not real. He is from another galaxy. Probably the dumbest human being I've ever met in my life. She doesn't know how to turn on the lights, spent about 10 minutes every lecture figuring that out. Her office is a table at the school's dining hall. I believe I am a man of second chances. I believe America is the land of second chances. Except for when it comes to this guy. Another asshat in academia has the biggest gobbler I've ever seen in my entire life. Gobbler? Gobbler? What's too opinionated for a sociologist. That's their whole thing. Basically a brainless person. When I read the reviews on here, I thought, psh, whatever, I can handle it. Listen, no, you can't. Add endings, ology, ality, ness to almost every word he can. Example, uncomfortability, culturality, methodology, otherness. Yeah, some of those are actual words, though. It's fine. School, delete this man. Suck up to China, you'll score an A. Rather than wasting your time on buying a book for any of his classes, buy a shovel and some rope. Attending lecture was about as useful as a condom vending machine in the Vatican. I would consider gargling Drano to get out of it. I'm sure on a personal level she's a contributing member of society. She probably would need an IT engineer to work in Etch-a-Sketch. By the third week, he was talking to himself. She made me rethink my whole life. This professor should be restricted from teaching on the basis of his knowledge on the subject. That is, he doesn't know from he has no idea about the difference between his and a hole in the ground. Find a dark corner of the classroom and hide until the lecture is over. If your eyes aren't screaming, you might make it through. Had personal vendettas. Didn't even know our names by the final exam, which she was 25 minutes late to. Expects us to be able to study what doesn't exist. If there's an English word that could personify this swipe of a teacher, I don't think I could say it just by moral standards alone. Easy other than his bloated ego. Human embodiment of a glitched printer with 15 chalk sticks jammed into it. Towley has more idea what's going on than she does. I puked out my pancreas. She's angry, hostile, awkward. On the last day of class, she made a wild accusation against everyone in the class, and anyone who couldn't prove her wrong, more than half the class, got a C for the term. A great teacher, but he is just so sexy I can't pay attention in class. Greatest professor I've ever met. I love being talked to like a toddler. His yelling really brings out the best in me. Don't forget the way he grades, 10 out of 10. I think calling us stupid, the question marks, and the demeaning words are great feedback. I hope he keeps doing what he's doing so he'll get fired soon. Hugs and kisses.